Hello, fellow YouTubers, and welcome back to Whoopsies! I accidentally pressed the button on the last episode of Phoenix Wright's Attorney. We started incriminating D. Vasquez of attempted murder, or at least, you know, being the murderer of Jack Hammer, saying that the samurai spear was not the main weapon. It was the fence that the picture from 5 years ago had the same instance. And so Hammer died that same way, and that they used the van to transport the body over to Studio One with Sal's help, who's also a co-conspirator. But she tried to get out because we only proved that she had the possibility. We didn't have any decisive proof. But Edward joined on our side, and so we're now in the middle of testimony that I accidentally started. So let's find out what she's saying. I was with Sal and Old Bag, the security lady, when we found the body. The assistant was there too. Only Powers was absent. I immediately called the police, then Powers showed up. The security lady, Olbeg, was quite agitated, pointing at Powers, saying he did it. I asked to be left out of the proceedings. I went back to the trailer to get my script and direction notes. Then I went home. I see no issues raised by this testimony. Mr. Wright, your cross-examination. Okay, Nick, we're close, real close. She may be acting tough now, but if you put her on the spot, she sort of falter. Find the key you need and twist the truth out of her, Nick. Right. Oh, God. Maya's just as cruel as Mia. So, after finding the body, there's only one thing here that does not make any sense. Or at least doesn't make sense when you think about it. We need to go all the way over, not this one, or not this one. This one right here. Why did she go back to the trailer to get her script and direction notes? Let's press this a little bit. The script and your direction notes. The script and your direction notes? Stupid question mark again. Yes, they're quite valuable. It wouldn't do to have them stolen. In the trailer that you have a key for that you usually lock. Whatever. No, I guess not. Press harder or back off. We're gonna press harder. Why would he back off from that? Wait a second. I thought you came to Studio One for a rehearsal. Why didn't you bring your script and notes? Well, I was under the impression that we wouldn't be able to rehearse anything. Why? There was a murder after all. Who could think of rehearsing after that? Oh, yeah, I guess. Very well. Miss Vasquez, please continue. Your Honor, I have an objection to the witness's last statement. Edgeworth! Why do you get the music and I haven't gotten it yet? Huh? Think. Miss Vasquez says she didn't bring the script because there wouldn't be a rehearsal. Don't you see what that means? She would have had to know about the murder before going to Studio One. Order! Order! Mr. Edgeworth! What you have just said is a reasonable observation. However, I find it hard to understand why the prosecution would make such a move. Are you thinking of a career change in defense? I appreciate the concern, Your Honor. I will stand by my statement, however, regardless of how the court sees my role here. Now, Ms. Vasquez, do you have an explanation? I can't believe Edgeworth is helping me. So the prosecution is in cahoots with the defense. What kind of court is this? Isn't that what court is supposed to be? No matter. I think you misunderstood me. I had a perfectly good reason to believe there would be no rehearsal. Very well. The witness will change her testimony to reflect this reason. I knew that Hammer was injured and couldn't do any action scenes, so I left him behind. Well, this is the key. as you can hear by the fact that the corner is still playing in the background. So we're going to present something. We're going to present the Powers' photo. She says Hammer was injured, but we know Powers was injured. Why does she think Hammer was injured? You knew that Hammer was injured. Don't you think that's a little funny? I mean, it was the Steel Samurai who was injured. It was Will Powers. What? Mr. Wright, explain yourself. Why? You know this? Yes, Mr. Hammer is dragging his leg in this photo. But that's because he was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Pretending. One person was injured in the run-through that morning. That person was Mr. Powers, not Mr. Hammer. Now, why did you think it was Mr. Hammer who was injured? I already said it was Sal who told me. That's right, he must have gotten it wrong. I think not. Mr. Manila was at the run-through that morning. He would have known it was Mr. Powers who was injured. He saw it happen. Why would he tell you the wrong person? Miss Vasquez, you heard Mr. Manila wrong, or you saw Hammer limping. Well, she didn't hear Mr. Manila wrong because I don't think Mr. Manila actually told her. So, actually, you didn't hear anything from Mr. Manila. You saw Mr. Hammer limping with your own eyes. Yes, but wasn't it Mr. Powers who was injured? Yes, but remember, Mr. Hammer was dragging his leg too. He was pretending to be Mr. Powers. Ah! And when he was doing this, well, it would have been after he put on the Steel Samurai costume and went to Studio 2, where he was murdered. Exactly. Miss Vasquez, you met him, didn't you? You saw the Steel Samurai limping. And Mr. Hammer was in that Steel Samurai suit. That's why you were confused. That's why you thought it was Mr. Hammer who had been injured that morning. Order! Order! I will have order! Witness. Can you refute this claim? Yeah, let's see you sneak out of this one, Vasquez. Very well. I have a question for you. Urk. Why are the real killers always so persistent? Why in the world would I want Mr. Hammer dead? Yes, he'd fallen on hard times, but he was a star. I had nothing to gain from his death. Nothing. Yes, you would need a motive. Hammers had no motive and you tried to get him. Why would she have killed the victim? If there is a reason, it isn't clear to this court. Does the defense have anything to say on the matter? In other words, can you prove she had a motive? Of course I can prove it, or of course I can't prove it. We don't want to end our train of thought right now, so... Okay. I have proof, and I'll show it to you. I present to the court evidence as to Miss Vasquez's motive in this murder. So we're going to present the 5-year-old photo for reasons that will be explained in just a moment. This is my proof. This is the photo from before. This photo reveals the motive in this murder. I'm right, aren't I, Miss Vasquez? 5 years ago, Mr. Hammer was at the height of his fame. With D. Vasquez's help, a terrible accident was swept under the carpet. Ladies and gentlemen, the case currently up for trial. It began on that day, 5 years ago. Ironically enough, that accident precipitated Mr. Hammer's fall. His fall from stardom. His guilt weighed him down, no doubt. However, you see, D. Vasquez used Mr. Hammer. You made him work for you for petty change. Bringing us to the present day, and Mr. Hammer's last role as the evil magistrate. Yes, undoubtedly, it was the constant source of shame for the ex-star. One moment, Mr. Wright. We are talking about motives here, yet you have only talked about Mr. Hammer. It almost seems as if it was Mr. Hammer who had killed D. Vasquez, not the other way around. What motive would Miss Vasquez have? Yes, that's right. According to what you say, I would have no reason to kill Hammer. He was a good source of income for me. And I never get rid of useful men. It is a policy of mine. Mr. Wright, please explain Mrs. Vasquez's motive for murder. Reveal evidence or she had no motive. Well, we did show the photo and kind of showed that Hammer had a motive for killing Vasquez, but that Vasquez had no motive for killing Hammer. So she had no motive, Your Honor. What's that now? It was Mr. Hammer who was out for blood. All Miss Vasquez did was push him off the stairs in self-defense. What's that now? It's simple. Mr. Hammer was intending to kill Miss Vasquez. Why is the still samurai music playing now? What? What? Your Honor! Jack Hammer drugged Mr. Powers with sleeping pills. Jack Hammer snuck into the dressing room and stole the Steel Samurai costume. Jack Hammer bore the costume to fool the security lady into thinking he was Powers. Then Jack Hammer made his way to the trailer. And for what purpose, you ask? To kill D. Vasquez, who had so cruelly taken advantage of him all those years. So, you did do it, didn't you? Yes. I am guilty. It was me. Someone call an ambulance! There's blood everywhere! We're too late! Ah! Miss Vasquez!
What happened here?
Manuel fell from the trailer stairs. Manuel! Miss Vasquez, please try to remain calm. No. How could this? It was an accident. Mr. Hammer was doing an action scene. No, Manuel! Don't touch him, Miss Vasquez! No! Oh, that was a terrible no. Please don't die. Please. Congratulations, Mr. Wright. I lose. Again. Mr. Edgeworth, where's D. Vasquez? In the waiting lobby, Your Honor. As calm and collected as ever. I see. Mr. Wright. Yes, Your Honor. It appears you have brought about yet another miracle. Thank you, Your Honor. I think not, Your Honor. Will Powers was innocent. That he should be found so is only natural, not a miracle. Yes, you're right. Very well. This court finds the defendant, Mr. Will Powers. That is all. The court is adjourned.
I don't know what to say. Thank you so much.
I'm just glad you're okay.
Yes, but it's sad. I know now that Mr. Hammer stole my costume. It's bad enough that he wanted to kill Miss Vasquez. But to think that he tried to frame me for the murder, it makes me sad. Tell me why, Mr. Wright.
Huh?
Tell me, why did Mr. Hammer want to blame me?
So we have I don't know or show evidence. We're going to show evidence as to why, because we actually do have an answer. Well, this is what I think. Mr. Hammer wanted to put the blame on you because... And we can show him one of two things. We can show him either the Powers' photo, or we can show him Path to Glory. So we're going to show him Path to Glory because this is a little bit better. It's because you were the Steel Samurai.
Because I was the Steel Samurai?
Mr. Hammer was a big star once, but he was reduced to acting in a kid's show, and as the villain to boot. The kids loved the Steel Samurai, and so he hated you.
I think I understand. He could have just told me. I would have had changed places with him at any time.
I think you're missing the point.
Thank you. I'm just glad it's all over.
So am I. So am I. Congratulations, WP!
Oh. Thanks to you, I'll be able to don the Steel Samurai outfit once more. I can't wait to get back into that sweaty costume and... Is something wrong?
No! Of course not! Ah! Nick! Edgeworth!
Say something right. I'm not good at small talk.
Huh? What? That was too bad, Edgeworth!
You don't waste any time gloating, do you?
No, I really want to thank you. Vasquez would have gotten away if you hadn't stepped in.
Pleased to meet you. I'm Powers. Sniff. Edgeworth. I'm a big fan of your work, Mr. Powers.
Liar!
Right. I must say, I hadn't expected to meet you again after all these years.
Meet again?
However, in retrospect, it would have been better had we not met. Thanks to you, I am saddled with unnecessary feelings.
Unnecessary feelings?
Yes, unease and uncertainty.
Aren't those kind of necessary?
They only serve to get in my way. You listen to me, Phoenix Wright.
don't ever show your face in front of me again. That's what I came here to tell you.
Mr. Wright? Is this guy your friend?
What? Friends? As if? They're rivals! Rivals! Right, Nick? For now we are, I guess. Huh? Why do I get the feeling I'm missing something? Come on, Nick! Tell me! What's the deal with you and Edgeworth? And so the curtain closes on another trial. I caused quite a stir by revealing that accent from 5 years ago. It was the talk of the town. Thankfully, Global Studios rethought its programming change. They went back to making kid shows again. Nick! This is it! The new show starts today! You're going to watch it with me, right? I'll admit, I was kind of surprised. I didn't think they'd seriously go through with it. You have to buy trading cards too, okay? We have to trade with Cody and that assistant. Fine, fine, I'll do it. Isn't it great that WP gets to play the lead again? I wonder if they'll show his real face this time. I dunno. I don't think the world is ready for the real Will Powers. How is he playing a woman? And that ends Case 3. Whew. So, that unlocks Turnabout Goodbyes. This one's a big one. I mean, these last two ones are pretty big, but we'll be getting to that later. So, on the next episode of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney, we're going to be starting Case 4 and finding out exactly what Turnabout Goodbyes is all about. So, until next time, hopefully you enjoy. 10 coins. So, one new thing in Mario Luigi Partners in Time from Superstar Saga is that some blocks actually have numbered coins. For example, we just got a 10 coin right there. So, we don't need to worry about, let's see. And there's a 20 right there. Oh, still hit it. Oh, okay. So I just got 20 coins for both of those. Coins, you'll definitely be able to get a lot more than 10,000, which was one more than the limit in Superstar Saga. I mean, I don't even think we ever got close to that coin limit